most appropriate thing for any right-thinking institution to have done by stopping that unconstitutional move by the Federal Road Safety Commission. Don't forget, the lawyer who just spoke before I came has outlined it that constitutionally Federal Road Safety Commission is not empowered. And the issue is that I'm not surprised, because we are in a system in which everybody is perpetrating all sorts of illegality, unconstitutionality. Don't forget, just last week the Minister for Works said they were going to reintroduce toll gates. Meanwhile, we all know what transpired that led to the destruction of toll gates. It was because Obasanjo was aggrieved with his political opponents within his party. He destroyed the toll gates.
Aren't we also trying to do something illegal? We as citizens, if you talk about people's mandates, I sit down in my office and I expect someone to bring me a license. I sit down in my home, I expect someone to get me all of this without going through what they call the driving lessons and the driving tests.
My brother, one thing we should understand is that, just like the lawyer has rightly pointed out, Federal Road Safety Commission, just like the leadership is now doing, have lost focus. Federal Road Safety Commission, the officers are supposed to stay on federal roads. But these days you see them...
We really cannot say they've lost focus. You know why? Because my colleague, Mark, actually pointed out, this talk of having a centralized data bank for our motorists is very, very imperative, especially now that we're talking about security issues. And that is why the FRSC has said, look, why don't we centralize all of this? So instead of you to bring so many kinds of documents to show different security operatives on the road, we have a centralized system where all the data are collected.
Okay, thank you very much. Don't forget, we have the National Identity Management Commission, NIMC. We have the National Nigerian Immigration Service, NIS. We have the NCC. Anybody will just wake up, and the next thing you want to do is to put up a lie that you are trying to get data. Meanwhile, we know what is the genesis of this new driver's license.
Sorry, but before you go on, these agencies you mentioned, which document do you have or do you use from them now?
You have the international passport.
Management.
You have the international passport.
What about
the National Identity Management Commission? They are in charge of your data, because the ID card issue that has not seen the light of the day after several award of that contract that has gone down the drain.
You cannot link my ID card to my driver's license. You cannot link my ID card with my registration number on my number plate. These are the issues. If we cannot link people, yes, the body in charge of gathering information for national ID cards might have information, might have my information, but can they link it to anything else that I have?
But one thing you have to note, like it has rightly been pointed out, is it the constitutional functions of Federal Road Safety Commission to gather that information? Is it their constitutional function? Should somebody just wake up because the wife has been complaining that he has not been bringing enough money to the house and say, okay, let me increase taxes on driver's license and plate numbers?
Why are we approaching this matter from this angle?
Yeah.
The Federal Road Safety Commission comes up with a beautiful plan, as it were. This is how we intend to move forward. This is our plan. And you know what? In the process, we actually won't be costing you money. We'll even get to generate some of it.
Yes.
That is supposed to be an incentive for the federal government to say, okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
In other words, you will be self-sufficient with this grand idea that we have. Why do we have to look at it from the angle of, this is, you're not bringing enough money to the table, you should go out there too and go and look for some money? How are you so sure that that's exactly what transpired?
That is what is happening now, because the road safety is trying to become a revenue generation agency rather than an agency that should be charged with the responsibility of educating road users to make our roads safe for you and I.
Well, have you been to the FRSC office lately? Because they have training sessions for loads of violators, traffic offenders, and they do that every morning. And for those who require licenses, they also carry out some form of lectures for them. So, in otherwise, that means what you're saying is what the FRSC is doing at present.
My brother, when I wanted to collect my driver's license, I went to the Federal Road Safety Commission office in Ojudu. If you want to go through the normal process,
yours was a renewal.
No, I wanted to know. Mine was a fresh one.
Then you didn't go.
No,
through.
You just wait. I I went through hell. I was living in Igomu for over 6 months. I was coming every day. They will reissue me with come back next month. There's the paper that they will give you. What was
the reason they gave?
They won't give you any reason. That is not ready. Come back next month. Meanwhile, those that, even as at now, the Federal Road Safety Commission is ripping off Nigeria. The driver's license or the plate numbers we are getting now ordinarily should be about 10, 12,000. But you and I know very well, the reality on ground is that you cannot get a driver's license or a plate number if you are not the plate number if you are not ready to cover at about 40,000 naira.
Are you sure?
They are the top. They are the road safety officials are the touts.
Why do you say ordinarily it's 12,000? And what calculation?
The rates are there, but they will never. It's just like if you want to get an international passport. If you are not ready to give the immigration officer the money to do it for you, you will never get it.
Well, I think, well, I don't know.
It's a fraudulent.
The same Ojudu you talk about is a place I have visited, and even before this program, we've been there, and we don't get to see road safety people or members as touts there. What definitely they will tell you, they have 2 offices. That's why I wanted us to describe this particular place.
Okay.
The other place at the entrance, you have the VIO. So that's where you do your payment. They don't even touch the money. So where does the tout affair comes in this whole talk?
My brother, your experience. Because was it when you wanted to? Was it that you went there as a media man with your camera to investigate?
We went there discreetly. They didn't know we were there.
But did you go there to get a driver's license or a plate number?
I had people there for renewal. No, listen, because I'm trying to tell. Because now you're painting a scenario. Wanted you to rather know that we've been there. There are 2 offices there in Ojudu. One specifically for the vehicle inspector officers at the entrance, while the other one right inside is the FRSC. And right there in the FRSC office, they don't touch money. So who has been asking you to bring 40,000 naira or above?
For you to get plate numbers, you don't have to go to the FRSC. It is for you to get driver's license that you have to go to the FRSC if you want to go through the proper channels. But if you go to the FRSC, my brother, except if you don't have any other thing to do, they will so frustrate you if you are not ready to cough out more than the required sum. If you go for the plate numbers, the rates are all, you will see it black and white. But who is going to attend to you for you to pay that money? Whether they should give you a teller, you take to the bank to pay and bring it back. There's nobody that will do that to you. They will tell you this is the amount you should pay. You get it under 3 hours or come back the following day.
Well, I imagine the FRSC subsequently will come up